Guys, got Coach Timmy Chang. Go ahead.
You know, you just missed something, too. We had some epic smack talk going on before we came live. And November 25th between Hawaii and Colorado State just got a little more fun. What's going on between you and Coach Norvell there?
Well, before Timmy answers that,
okay,
he walks by and he says, "The three of you look beat up." What was that all about?
He must know this is the ninth island, and so
yeah, he's making fun.
Yeah, he's making fun of us over here. But he was trying to walk in on me when I got bows on me and funny hats, and he knew what was heading my way. And as we do the Mountain West media day and have fun around here with some of the things that we're doing. But Coach Norvell's a good one, man. He looks like he's ready to go again this season.
I love the fact that he points at me. He says, "It looks like you haven't slept in 3 days." And then Timmy's like, "You have a face for radio." Let's start off that interview real good. All right. Well, so hey, we're no longer rookies to this, Timmy.
No, we're not. No, we're not. This is year two. This is year two, and it's I say this. A lot of work has still gone into, and a lot of time has been put in. But you kind of know where you're at. You kind of know what your team is and who they are and what we got to get better at. And so from that standpoint, from last year to this year, there's a lot less unknowns and more now it's turn up and get ready to go and go win these games. I
want to say that you picked the two perfect ambassadors to represent offense and defense yesterday. Very well spoken. Very much into the program. The two great guys in Logan and Iliki. Yeah,
those are great leaders. I'm not going to get a vote on who's going to be captain, but they get a lot of respect. I mean, Iliki, in a room as a junior and as deep as those seniors were on that offensive line with Ilm and Michael Vanderpool and those guys, they voted Iliki as the guy that runs that room, and so that's a lot to be said about Iliki. And when you watch him go as we had a little bit more than a year and a half together, and you watch him go about his business, and you see him demand and what he wants to get out of that group, and one of the most important groups on the football team, the O-line. He gets things rolling, and they do what he says, and so and that's a good quality to have, and so. Logan on the other side, he's such a great leader. He's our energy. He gets us going. He's our spiritual guy, our spiritual leader. He wants to be a pastor. He not only does he hit guys and I think his stats for maybe 7 games, 80-something tackles. Just imagine he played 13 games, how many tackles he would have. But I expect him to continue leading us and being an ambassador for University of Hawaii football team, not just for the next year as a senior, but like you, John, a person and a guy in the community that a lot of people are going to follow for years to come within both of them, and even that. I mean, if I could have brought more guys, I mean, you talk about Jonah Welch and there's a list of guys that I would love to come, but you can only pick 2, and I felt like those guys are deserving.
Yeah, I think they were very appreciative of it. I want to say it's a good thing that you keep your hair short, because I think the off season might have been a little stressful for you, huh? Trying to implement a full-fledged run and shoot offense. Was it difficult, or did you have enough guys around you that could do this thing?
First of all, can you see my white hairs?
No, that's the beauty about keeping it short.
Josh actually took a step and leaned into the light and stuff. Good thing we're on radio.
Which, by the way, you'll be able to see this interview and the gray hairs that Timmy's talking about on YouTube.
Oh no, it's I tell you what, I think it's less stressful. This is an offense that I knew for since the time I started playing football, 7th grade at St. Louis High School. And that went from 7th, 8th, 9th, 10th, 11th, 12th, freshman year, sophomore year, another sophomore year, junior year, senior year. It's all I knew. This is the offense. It's why it's a big reason why I had a chance to play early on and then commit and stay home and play for the University of Hawaii and be able to play right away with June Jones. And here's the thing is that, the state, I've been talking about it with, and then questions from, Mount West Network, CBS, Fox, and all these people, they're asking about the run and shoot. And here's the exciting part is that, the program, the football program, the university, and the state and the fans have benefited from this offense, and knowing it, and they know what it looks like. They know the plays. They might not know what the call is, but they know the plays. They know what it's supposed to look like. When Colt Brennan is throwing the ball down the field, they knew. When Brian Muniz was throwing the ball down the field, Cole McDonald, when all these guys were playing in this offense at a high level, they knew what it looked like. They knew what the little shovel pass pitch to Nady Olawa looked like. And I get asked over and over, is that play coming back? It's,
well, is it?
It's a timing play. It's a timing play. And so we like them when they rush up the field really hard and we can catch them. And so, but, for me, I think it's something that I'm very familiar with. And now and here's the difference, right? As a player, I understood it. Now, as a coach, how do I get my guys to understand it the way I do? Because I no longer play. And I tell the guys, it's the first conversation I had with the guys when I walked in the room is, guys, I don't play. You guys play. So you guys take the ownership. You guys take the leadership. It's on those guys. And so that a lot of the summer has been handed off to the quarterbacks and to the receivers, and for them to be accountable to each other, get the repetitions they need, get on the same page, talk to each other, plant seeds, continue getting that timing down. And so, I'm excited to see where we're at when we hit fall camp. I've been watching. We got some of the PRPs and stuff, and being able to see a little bit. But you kind of know a little bit early on what the emphasis has to be and where you got to correct some things. But when we get our hands on them in ball, training camp, we'll be ready to go.
How much learning did your coaches have to do to learn the offense?
Yeah, I think I got some really smart coaches. Shoemaker's been a play caller for a number of years. He knows how to adapt. He's been grinding and working that tight end position, and so you want guys. We're used to having the Chad Owens, the Greg Salas. Greg Salas arguably could have been a tight end in a college system. How big he is, and so he's got the wherewithal to kind of to know how to place a guy in the slot and be able to read and run all those routes as a slot receiver does. And then he has to know how to, block an edge and control the edge when we need to get a yard and keep guys honest and put guys in the box and then manipulate things from there as well with RPO and all the other things that we're going to do.
It's exciting.
Yeah, it is. Hawaii head coach Timmy Chang joining us. Gary Dickman's got a few questions back in our studio. Gary?
So many people are talking about the run and shoot. Should we expect week one that the run and shoot will be fully installed the way you want it to be, or is that going to be a work in progress throughout the season again?
Yeah, I think we have a lot of our plays in and ready to go. We've been doing them over and over and over and over and over again. Right now we got Dan Morrison right now in Hawaii with us, and I just left him. In fact, he dropped me off at the airport. And is on campus and hanging around with family and friends. And so this thing is in full force. And so we're going to pick the best plays that give us a chance to beat Vanderbilt.
We've heard so much in the last month about recruiting and some of the guys you've signed. I know you can't talk specifics right now, but I think it was also really exciting for everybody to see what you're already building for the 2024 class. So many local players staying home. I know that's an effort that you said from day one you want to keep the local players, the best local players here. Is that something you plan on doing every year as much as possible? We're maybe recruiting a year or two in advance?
We're going to go after all the best local guys. And we feel like we have enough talent at home, and if we can keep them home, we're going to keep them home. And it's got to be reciprocated, right? Guys got to go. Guys got to want to stay home, and then play for the state and represent the state, put the state on their back, as we talk about in the locker room with the Braddahhood. And so we're going to continue to do that. And if guys choose to leave, it's okay, and we'll go and continue and pick guys that want to be here, whether it be from here or from other countries or other parts of the state. But the biggest thing for us is wanting people that want to be here, and that's probably the most important thing when it comes to recruiting for us.
I'll take the last one here. You were rattling off quarterbacks left and right earlier. You should have mentioned yourself in that list, but the one quarterback who was not old enough to be here, Braden Shager, is going to be that next one taking the mantle of the run and shoot. Talk about his growth here in the offseason. I know he's had to bulk up a little bit, but understanding and growing in this offense. From your vision, what have you seen?
It's going to be a work in progress. I think with any quarterback coming into the system, you never know until the bullets are flying. But I'll tell you this, his leadership has grown. His arm strength is there. He's a big kid. He's a big, tough kid. That's the first thing I noticed about him and I appreciated was that his toughness. I think he has a kind of a legendary urban legend story that his jaw broke and a couple teeth got knocked out, and in one of his semifinal Highland Park playoff games, and he continued playing. He ended up losing to the champion of that Texas state championship. But Shager is taking control. He until he distributes the ball perfectly, and no one does. I mean, it's hard to. It really is. I don't know what. You guys can go dig it up and talk about it. I don't know what Coates' passing percentage was, when he finished out, and he probably did it at the highest level. Rolo did it at a really high level, especially at that last 4-game stretch that I think we talked about before, Gary. The best 4 games I've ever seen a quarterback play in this run and shoot. And career-wise, I was about at a 55%. But I think with helping with the run game, helping with RPOs, I think helping with those type of things, I expect him to distribute the ball. Will he be perfect? No. But he has to continue to be resilient and have those qualities as a quarterback that you're going to want. That, hey, I got to make plays. I got to make plays for my team. I got to distribute the ball. I got to be there for my guys. I got to lead them. I got to get them lined up correctly. All those things that you want to see as a quarterback, I think Shager's going to grow into those things and be really good for the next 2 years.
To answer your question, in 2005, Colt Brennan was a 68% passer. 2006, 72.6, and in 2007, 70.4. So for his 3-year career, he was above 70%.
And then that's probably the most elite at any level that you've seen a quarterback play in the run and shoot. And he was accurate. He's the most accurate sidearm guy I've ever seen. He has some really good guys to throw to. So, that's the other part of it, is that we got to put some really good receivers around Shager to make sure that he's got some weapons to throw to as well. But that's 70%. That's pretty impressive.
Yeah, for sure. Coach, good to see you. Thanks for stopping by.
Thanks for having me, guys.
All right, Timmy Chang, Hawaii head football coach, joining us. Our coverage of Mountain West Media Days, driven by BMW of Honolulu.